Alright, my first review of a movie that came out in 1970. First time for everything, am I right? Anyways, enough babbling, let's get on with it. Yo, what is up, my Cinedroids? G to the S here. Today, I'm gonna be reviewing Airport, the one that came out in 1970, that is. Anyways, in this large ensemble disaster movie, Mel Bakersfield, played by the late Burt Lancaster, the general manager of a Chicago area airport, must contend with a massive snowstorm and other issues, both work-related and personal, while the troubled D.L. Guerrero, played by the late Van Heflin, threatens to blow up an airliner. As pilot Vernon Demarest, played by the late Dean Martin, attempts to calm Guerrero down and dissuade him from setting off explosives on the plane, tensions increase in the air and on the ground, and danger is imminent. Now, here's a little bit of a history lesson for you newbie cinephiles out there before I start narrowing down the basic elements of this movie. Back in the 1970s, there was no PG-13 rating. The three MPAA ratings are G, PG, and R. Now, I would count the X rating, but since we know better not to go that far into what lies ahead for an X-rated movie, I'm not going to, so let's move on. The reason why this movie in particular got the G rating is because, like I said, PG-13 was not invented until 14 years later when Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom came out. Check out that review if you want. So, in today's terms, it's kinda either PG or PG-13 in a sense for basically disaster depictions of immense peril, mild language, and a violent suicidal attempt. No spoilers. Now that you got the gist of what I'm talking about, let's get started. First off, for its time, the set and/or production design looks well crafted. The way they built the sets for this movie, from the inside of the plane itself to the effect of the plane flying through the clouds and into the night sky, is actually really interesting to watch. Even the camera work and cinematography looks good. Yeah, in typical internet troll fashion, call the camera work dated, call this whole movie dated for all I care. Sure, it looks dated, but does that make the story bad? Well, you answer me. I dare you. Anyways, with that said, the story for this movie was unlike anything I've ever seen before. Sure, it's not your typical love story or your fairy tale movie by any means. It's a disaster movie. So expect some human drama, a lot of high anxiety, and heavy emotion throughout the whole feature. But that's what makes the story engaging, for me at least. In terms of the movie's character development and acting performance, directed by the late George Seaton, rest in peace, dude. But whenever the characters are put in a situation where they're about to die from a plane crash, you do feel the tension. I was on the edge of my seat right at the moment where everybody is put in a state of panic while on the plane. Also, for its execution, this story kinda hits close to home for me, because this movie deals with flight delays in terms of weather conditions and plane issues. That happened to me a few times back when I had the opportunity to fly to New Jersey for camp. I even have to wait for a few hours for the plane to board when me and my sister, who is 2 years younger than me, flew to Iowa to visit my grandpa for a while almost 3 years ago. So props to Universal Pictures for making the story relatable. People who run Hollywood now, take notes. Also, I have to mention the use of editing in this movie. Sure, people didn't use computers to edit a scene in this movie back then, so they had to use these special machines to edit shots like the back-to-back phone communication technique. Again, for its time, it was spot on. And I gotta say, for a 1970s movie, it looks amazing. So again, I gotta give props to the editors at Universal Pictures for their hard work and dedication throughout the whole picture. So if you're out there, great job. Also, speaking of tension in the movie, the amount of dramatic and emotional scenes is on full display from the start of the movie all the way to the final climax where everybody starts panicking while the plane is going down. They never sugarcoat the whole thing. No, they keep you tugged at your heartstrings. I won't spoil some scenes in it, but just be warned, you are in for a wild ride once you get to the third act of this movie. Brace yourselves. Now, if I have to think of flaws that this film has for me to discuss, turns out I can't find any. I mean, the pacing could be a teensy bit faster. But aside from that, guys, in the end, I thought the movie Airport was an amazing disaster drama. It had fun and likable characters, intriguing story, nail-biting suspense, and intense disaster situations that make this film interesting to watch. In short, it was awesome. And as a result, I obviously rate Airport a solid 5 out of 5 stars. If you have not the chance, go check it out. You might enjoy it as much as I do. So Airport, 1970. Have you seen it? If you haven't, bro, you are totally missing out. I know it's out on Blu-ray right now, so do me a favor. Go purchase it for yourself once you have the chance. It's worth it. But if you have, come back and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Also, if you like this video and you want to see some more, make sure that like button shines in your face. That'll totally help me out a ton. Also, share that video with your family and friends and favorite it. That's a very good way to show support for this review. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell right next to you so you can be notified of future videos that I have in store for you. Also, if you want a shout out in a future video, just follow me on both Instagram and Twitter, and I will choose one of my Cinedroids to be displayed as a shout out. The link's in the description below. And also follow me on Stardust so you can catch early reactions of movies, TV show episodes, and trailers. I'll put a link to that below in the description as well so you can download the app for yourself. But until then, I'll see you next time. Peace out.